It's that time of year again!
The smartass Remark proudly present the 2024 Remarkly Awards.
Welcome to the Remarkly Awards of 2024! I'm your host, Dyloka, or also known as DD for short, and this is my annual End of the Year award show that I just called the Remarkies for some reason. Don't ask me why. So, we will celebrate the good of 2024, and also we will celebrate the bad of 2024. I think we should just kick this thing off with our first nominees award thing. You know what I meant. Our first award that we're handing out today, it is the Friendship Award for the best multiplayer game of the year. And here are the nominees.
The nominations for the Friendship Awards are Super Mario Party Jamboree, Helldivers 2, Contact Warning, Marvel Rivals,
No wonder it was so slippery when I got here. Anyway, the winner of the Remarkly for the best multiplayer game, also known as the Friendship Award, is Helldivers 2! You know, because you can't save democracy without friends. So it only makes sense that to save democracy, you have to have the power of friendship. What was the best TV show / anime I have watched this year? Well, if we're talking about strictly stuff that came out this year, I only watched like 3.
The nominations for the best anime / TV show are Delicious in the Dungeon, Ramon 1.5, Dun Dun Dun.
But one stand out compared to the rest. And it is one of my favorite animes this year, and one of my favorite shonen animes now. And that is Dun Dun Dun. I love this anime. I really recommend this anime because it feels like a breath of fresh air in the shonen era. It really does feel fresh. I know I usually have this a little bit later on in the video, but this year, we're going to change it up a little bit. So it's time to talk about my most disappointing thing of this year. And it's something to do with some Red and Kenda who likes to punch stuff. And yes, it's Knuckles. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just kinda there. I kind of had a little bit of higher expectations. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just disappointed. And that's why Knuckles get the disappointed Remarky this year. Yes, I have seen movies. And yes, I do hand out Remarkies to movies. Before we talk about the best movie of the year, we gotta talk about the worst movie. And this was a pretty easy answer this year. And it's Oh god, what is that? Oh god. Keep it away from me. Why does it smell like acid and rust? Oh god. Oh, not even Jack Black can save that movie. Why am I a fan of this franchise again? Oh god. Why is Kevin Hart in this movie? He wasn't even fit for this role. Ugh. How do you make a movie worse than Madam Web? Are we legally allowed to give this movie a Remarky? Let's talk about the best movies, not the worst movie of this year. Let's not go there anymore. So, what's the best movie I've seen this year? Well, Here's the nominees.
The nominations for the best movies are The Wild Robot, Deadpool and Wolverine, Transformers 1, Sonic 3.
What? It's kind of obvious what my movie of the year was. What are you expecting? Transformers 1? No! It's Sonic the Hedgehog 3, of course, you idiots. I'm a Sonic fan! Of course I'm gonna love the third movie. It was so much fun. It kind of got a little crazy at the end. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go see this movie again. I'm a wrestling fan, and of course, I have to hand out Remarkly to the best and the worst things of wrestling. Mainly with matches and shows. I'm not going to go that far, because I'm not touching the you-know-what. Anyway, here it is. Let's just talk about the worst show of this year. Shall we? And not talk about that other thing. Well, the worst show of this year is Clown Drill. It's a Saudi Arabia show. Nothing happened. I mean, the wrestling was alright. Nothing happened. It just... I remember being watching Saturday Night Main Event over this show. At least with Saturday Main Event, it actually felt like a show that's not like thing. Crown Drill just felt meaningless. Only reason why they needed to do it is because Saudi Arabia was paying WWE a lot of money to do this. And this didn't even feel like a pay-per-view caliber show thing. I feel like we could got a lot of these matches on Raw or SmackDown. Did I mention it was in Saudi Arabia? God! This show sucks. Triple H's balls. It's time to talk about the best wrestling show of this year. Here. And it was a toss-up between two, if I'm being really honest. But one did stand out of being the best wrestling show of this year. And it was, like I said, it was a toss-up, but I have to give it to WrestleMania 40! WrestleMania 40 is my favorite wrestling show of this year. It wasn't perfect, yes, but this was probably one of the best WrestleManias they have ever done in a good while. I mean, especially in the past, like, 5 years. This is, or 10, or whatever, this WrestleMania is so good. It has so many great matches, great moments, Jimmy versus Jay Uso that we might get to later. But this was a really good show. And also, Cody finally finished the story. It was a great show overall, if we're counting both days. That's why WrestleMania 40 gets the Remarkly of the best wrestling show of the year. Before we talk about what was my match of the year this year, we have to talk about the worst wrestling match of this year first. Why? Why were these matches so bad? Oh, God. Just roll the nominees for the worst match of the year.
The nominees for the worst wrestling match of the year are Billy Gunn versus Jay Wright on the April 3rd episode of Dynamite. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at Bad Blood. Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso at WrestleMania 40. Bayley versus Nia Jax at Bad Blood. Chris Jericho versus Hook at Dynasty. Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax at Crown Jewel.
What the f*** happened here? I mean, like, what the f***? Like, seriously, I don't even know how to explain. I am so, like, confused and like, why? And I get it, WrestleMania, you have a bigger stage and thing, and oh my god, this match was really, really bad. And this was on my favorite wrestling show of the year. I mean, we can't always be perfect, but god, this match sucked. Thank god for the rest of the show was really, really good. God, this match sucked. WWE won, or lost, I guess is a better term, the worst wrestling match. Let's kick it off with WWE's, where was WWE's match of the year for me? And it's pretty simple, but here's the nominees for the best WWE match of the year.
The nominees for WWE's Match of the Year are Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania 40. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable at Clash of the Castle. Bayley versus Io Sky at WrestleMania 40.
And it's CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell. I mean, it almost came down to Sami Zayn versus Gunther at WrestleMania, which is probably my favorite match at WrestleMania. But this match was so good. The story was good. The wrestling was good. The violence was good. And also was not expecting blood at Bad Blood. And especially in WWE. Congratulations. This was the best feud and the best way to end this feud in all of wrestling. But wasn't the true match of the year, though? Since we just got done talking about WWE's Match of the Year, let's talk about AEW's Match of the Year. And I totally will not be biased whatsoever to AEW. I mean, come on. I mean, not like they're going to have the overall Match of the Year this year. I mean, AEW was a kind of a down year this year. I mean, right? So, here's the nomination of which Will Ospreay match, AEW match, was the best of this year.
The nominations for AEW's Match of the Year are Will Ospreay versus MJF at All In London. Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale in a street fight at All Out. Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay at Dynasty. Will Ospreay versus Takesha versus Ricochet at Wrestle Dream. Bryan Danielson versus Strickland at All In London. Insert any Will Ospreay match from AEW here.
This was a hard choice. It was really hard. I mean, what Will Ospreay match, what Bryan Danielson match would have been Match of the Year this year? Huh, I wonder. Oh, wait, they faced each other this year, and that was my Match of the Year from AEW. match was freaking amazing. Everyone was so hyped for this match. This match lived up to freaking hype. I kind of wish I was there to watch this match in person, but this was my match of the year for AEW. And also, overall, I had the headphones on. You know what that means. It's time to figure out what game had the best soundtrack of this year. So, here's the nominees while I rocked out.
The nominees for the best video game soundtracks are Persona 3 Reloaded, Astrobot, Metaphor Read Fantasio, Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail, Sonic X Shadow Generations,
game of this year. Well, I didn't really play a whole lot of indie games this year, I will be honest, but here are some of the best indie games that I did play this year.
The nominees for the best indie game of the year are Thank Goodness You're Here, Balatro, Slay the Princess, Contact Warning.
Meanwhile,
Start Balatro?
2 hours later.
That's even worse! That's actually worse! Oh my god! Ugh! Ah, god! Oh god! Oh, good gravy! Oh. Balatro!
20 minutes later.
I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something at this point. I really don't know. Anyway, back to the winner of the Remarkly indie game. Okay, let's do this. This is the one!
1 million zillion jillion dillion cotillion times later.
That was a fun time playing Balatro. So what's next on this thing? Oh, look at the time. I have to do my, CCC dailies.
3 hours later.
Got my CCC dailies done. Hopefully we can talk about the game of the year this time. And it's still there, isn't it? Do you really want me to talk about the worst game this year? Fine! Let's talk about the worst game of this year!
These are the worst games of the year. Funko Fusion, Juju Kaisen, Curse Clash, Concord, Madden 25, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Why should I talk about this game? I'm just going to save my breath, because this game is already terrible. It won, or let me rephrase, lost the worst game! What is there more to say about this? I mean, come on. What is it, Concord? Oh, god damn it. I want to make a remark about Concord, because this is probably the only time I'm going to be able to make a remark about Concord! God! This game was only up for like 1, 2 weeks at the most. Like, what? Like, thing. What's Sony? What do you think it was this game. I mean, I mean, it's not overly terrible. I mean, I'd rather be playing this over a game like, I don't know, Funko Fusion? Was this our real winner? More loser, I should say. Whatever. God, Funko Fusion was so bad. I mean, why? I mean, I am a fan of Funko Pops. I mean, there can be hit and misses. I mean, they're not bad, but unlike these little things, this game is awful. I mean, what is this for? Like, thing. This was just bad, like, I don't even know what this game is. It's like, ooh, let's have all our Funko Fusion things. God, just Funko Fusion me. You already know what time it is. It's time to figure out who won the Remarkly for Game of the Year. And here are the nominees of Game of the Year.
The nomination for Game of the Year are Celeblade, Sonic X Shadow Generations, Metaphor, Read Fantasio, Astrobot, Persona 3, Reloaded, Paper Mario, The 1000-Year Door, Sinless Zone Zero.
This was a hard decision to make, if I'm being really honest. Out of these 7 games, only one can be my Game of the Year. And that game is... Astrobot? Huh? Me and the Video Game Awards agree on something? What? Yes! Astrobot gets the Game of the Year Remarkly Award. This is probably the best 3D platformer game I have played in a long time. I mean, since like Hat in Time. And this game makes me want to like actually collect everything and try to 100% it. And not a lot of games do that. This game is definitely what's that game that does that. I really, and it looks so shiny and clean, and you play this cute little robot, it's so kawaii, and it's just kind of crazy, and this is what PlayStation needed after, you know what happened a couple weeks earlier. Get out of here! We're not talking about you, Concord! Jesus, rude! Anyway, Astrobot is like one of like my favorite games of this year. It literally was. And it's a celebration of the 30 plus years of PlayStation. God, I just felt old just saying that. Anyway, but this is probably like, it literally is one of my favorite platformers of all time now. I don't mind going back and playing and trying to do it. Yes, it can be frustrating at points, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, you get to see these cute little robots of characters from other franchises. And it also stands out by itself to be its own franchise, and Sony's Mario is the best way to describe this. This game definitely deserves Game of the Year, but it was a tight race. It was this or Metaphor. It was literally one of those two games, if I'm being honest. Metaphor definitely deserved it, but Astro Bot just edged it out. Just edged it out a little bit more. It's so great. I'd recommend, honestly, I recommend all the games I nominated. Ooh, it's over. Oh, thank you for watching this year's Remarkly Awards! I really appreciate it. This year was kind of like a roller coaster ride for me. I mean, this wasn't the best year for me personally, I will say, and it was kind of hard to figure out a lot of these categories, if I'm being honest. But let me know what your guys' favorite game, favorite match, favorite thing, or the worst match you think is terrible, or the worst video game you played this year. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, I want to say thank you for watching. I've been Didi, and I will see you in the next one. Hopefully, I don't have to make shorts of the Remarkly Awards, because that would be a pain in the